Okay. Yes, that's what I'm on. And if you can see and hear me, I will continue talking. Okay, that works. That's okay. We'll make this work. Okay, I'll go ahead and get started then. Okay, bye. Okay, I do apologize for the tech issues. For those that don't know me, I am Katie Ann Wilson. I am the Diary of a Techie Chick. That's the name of my blog, and I do have a website. It is my name, katieannwilson.com. I will be presenting Seeing a Different Kind of Reality, which is augmented reality in education, using it in the classroom. So I'll go ahead and get started since we're a little behind on time. And you should see my screen. I did tweet out the link to the slides, plus there's a QR code on the screen. If you want to use the QR code to access the slides, you could do that. My Twitter information for those that want to follow me on Twitter is KatieAnn_76. And of course, you can always connect with me via my blog or my website. Okay, these are the people that drive me to the Finney farm every day. I call them family. They are the reason I go out and present to teachers around the country and actually kind of around the world. People like to hear me talk apparently all over. My oldest son, the redheaded guy wearing the purple shirt and glasses, he is my huge inspiration. We started our education career together. His first day of kindergarten was my first day of teaching, so we kind of had a lot of firsts. And then we have, he's 17, and we have a 15-year-old who just finished driver's ed and drives me all over the place, even crazy. And then our daughter is 6, and she'll be starting first grade. So these are my cheerleaders. They go and cheer me on, and which allows me to talk with teachers from all over. The reason I want to talk about augmented reality in education is, first, I got to start off why we need to use it. Using augmented reality in education really does enhance the learning experience. It opens the doors to endless possibilities, and it just brings learning to life. Augmented reality also prepares our kids for their future today. They are going to be using technology that we can't even dream of and that hasn't been invented yet. So we need to prepare them how to be flexible enough to teach themselves how to use this new technology. Companies today are using augmented reality to train their employees. There's a link to this article. Boeing says augmented reality can make their workers better and faster, and they did a self-study that they trained 3 different groups. One group got the training material in a PDF paper format. One group got the material in a PDF, like a tablet or computer format, so it was digital, but it was still a PDF. And the third group got the information, the training material, which was augmented. The group that received the training with augmented material performed 30% faster at the task and 90% efficient over the other 2 groups. So Boeing, a huge company, is using augmented reality to train their employees. The military is even using augmented reality out in the field. They are developing these glasses that go with the helmets for the soldiers, and it's going to stream them, overlay information, real-time information about their area right to those glasses so that the soldiers will receive up-to-date information on the battlefield. Augmented reality is also transforming the industry. The oil fields and oil workers, they're using augmented tools to help them detect issues with their equipment, and it will overlay information, and it goes and gives the workers information how to fix it and tells them what's wrong. So out in the field, out in the industry, they're using these tools today. This isn't tools that, you know, will the kids be using in 10 years from now. These are tools when they leave school today, they will be using. There's also been augmented reality used in the OR, and I was told, and there's a link to this video of this lecture, they have been using augmented reality in the OR for the past 10 years. It helps train the surgeons with, you know, the human body. Sometimes, you know, you want to go in and see and practice before you cut somebody open. I kind of would like that, my, you know, surgeon to have that kind of experience. So if they can use it augmented and can help them with their training, let's do it. It's also bringing history to life. The Berlin Wall is down, but now if you go to this Time Traveler app and you go to the area where the Berlin Wall was, it's going to activate an augmented story about the Berlin Wall. So it's literally bringing history to life using a GPS augmented tool. I kind of want to go there now. Our classrooms are no longer the way they used to be. We are no longer in a one-room schoolhouse with one teacher. We are literally breaking down the walls of our schools, and we're going global with global projects. We haven't been teaching that way since 1950, so we shouldn't be teaching that way now. We need to be breaking down our walls, and we need to start using the tools our students will be using when they leave our classrooms. Today's classrooms are interactive and global, and here's a link to, it's a really good visual of how technology is impacting the classrooms today. And the number one tool of technology that's impacting our classrooms today is augmented reality, and the second technology tool that's impacting our classrooms today is 3D printing. Oh, I got ahead of myself. These are the 8 top technical tools, and there's a link to the article, and like I said, augmented reality is number 1 and 3D printing is number 2. So why use if I could speak today. Why use augmented reality? It allows our kids to literally hold the world in their hands. They can hold the Earth, they can hold the solar system, they could spin it around and actually get a feel of what this looks like, because, you know, we're on it, we can't really see it, and pictures just don't do it justice. So let's give the kids the world and let them hold it and experience and explore it. Okay, now I sent a package to Maggie, and hopefully she has passed out some of the triggers. I didn't know how many people would be in the room, so I sent hopefully enough that at least you get something to take home with you. I sent some coloring pages. Some of them are from Quiver, some of them are from Cromville, and some of them are from Color Alive. I use these coloring pages as writing prompts. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And it also enhances our writing projects. I do not tell my kids which coloring page, which tool they need to use, because I want them to collaborate and brainstorm and, you know, do their writing, and that has to be usually it has to be around the image, and they have to create a story that goes with that image. So a lot of creative writing. And then once they show me the first draft, they've typed it up, I tell them which tool to use, and then they scan it, and then they have to incorporate whatever happened to their picture, the augmented part, into their story. Oops. So when I do this, I'm not only teaching collaboration, because I have the kids talk with each other when they're writing to tell their stories and collaborate. I'm also teaching rewriting skills and how to revise, because they have to then, after their first draft, go back and revise their story to include the augmented pieces. Okay, this is one of Cromville's coloring pages. This is one of their new ones. This is for internet safety. This I will be using because I teach digital citizenship and internet safety with my kids. So when they color it, I'll have a lesson activity to go with it, and then they'll have to scan it, and they'll see what happens when they scan it. You can go to Cromville's website and download these pages. Their pages at the moment are free, so download them, use them. There's tons of them. They have different story scenarios. I do have on my blog AR challenges, so that's using coloring pages. You can go look for those. Another coloring page is from Color Alive, and I think I sent some of those to you. This is their free one, so you could go to their, if you don't have the coloring books, you can go to their website and download this one. I do believe they have another one that is free. They have tons of stuff right now. They have a mystical one. They have a Barbie one. I just got the Minions. So yeah, you can find those at Target, Walmart. I live in a small town, and I had to order mine off of Amazon, but they're there. And so with these, because there's so many, I have lots of different characters that the kids could write total different stories. Not each kid gets the same trigger, so I have enough triggers now that each kid has a different trigger, and each kid's story is going to be different, and it's going to have a different revision. And the kids love sharing their stories. Quiver used to be Color Mixed, is now Quiver, and they are coming out with tons. They released, I think, last week a whole bunch. This is one of their ones. It becomes the world. A lot of people are going to use this one when they're teaching different topics around the world. They can mark where it is, and then the kids can go scan or add other, information. They have one that's a flag, one that's a volcano, one that does cells. Plate tectonics, I do believe, is one of their new ones. They have tons. They're not all free. There are some that are free and some that you have to pay for. So depending on what you want to do and what you want to spend. But these were the first ones I started using. They are really great, and they've grown a lot in the last 2 years. I also do writing essay with Dot Day, International Dot Day, and if you don't know what International Dot Day is, basically the message is how do you leave your mark in the world. So I have the kids write an essay how they're going to leave their mark in the world, and then they have to design a logo that goes with their essay, and there's the Dot Day page. And then they have to blog about how they interact, and they make pictures, and I think the next slide will show the pictures, them interacting with their logo, and then they have to blog about it. So I teach blogging, and that's part of the digital citizenship and your digital footprint that I teach. And here's an example of one of my students designing their interactive logo, and they do a pic collage, and they do a write-up of how they interacted with their logo. This is one of my favorite ones, is the heart cam, and a teacher told me that she did this, and when she did it, she printed it on iron-on paper. So if you're going to do an iron-on transfer, print it reverse, so when you iron on its correct way, and they put it on a shirt. And then they had, at a STEM fair, the kids were explaining how this works, and they would scan the trigger, and this is the AR heart cam. And you could see the heart, so they placed it just right on the shirt, so when they scanned it, it looks like their heart was on their shirt. So the kids really loved it, and they had fun with it, seeing the heart beating, and it's a lot of fun. This happens to be my favorite one. This is the Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality Star app. It is by AugThat. You'll have to go and download the app. And they do have a demo page, so if you go to augthat.com, you can go to their demo page and you can get these triggers. This trigger, once you download it, you're going to start lesson. Then they have buttons you have to choose, and you're going to choose a 360 environment. And then it's going to ask you, is this environment an environment or an architecture? If it has a picture of a building in it, then it's architecture. If it's no building there, then you're going to choose environment. And then you're going to scan this image. Once the image loads on your device, then you can take your device away from the picture and you can move around the room, and you're literally immersed in that environment. They have over 200 360-degree environments. So this kind of blows that Google Cardboard trying to do the 360s with the cardboard out of the water, because you can literally do this with any device. And you are literally immersed. They have volcano ones, beach ones. When I do this in a face-to-face, and I do believe I gave you guys a card with this trigger on it that has the trigger on the front, and on the back is the app information. So you should have this trigger. Hopefully I sent enough. If not, you're going to have to share. Or you can go to their demo page and get the trigger yourself. But they have over 200 like mountaintops, the Grand Canyon. They're doing landmarks. So like the Sphinx. You can be in Egypt at the Sphinx. You can literally turn your classroom into any environment. And I use this for to compare and contrast different environments for writing projects, a way to introduce a new topic. I will pull out these triggers, and the kids love them. They move around the room. They think it's the most amazing. And there's one that has a cave, and everybody tries to go into the cave. But this is a really fun, and it's engaging. You literally bring the world to your classroom with these triggers. Oops, wrong way. Come on. Okay, and this is another 360. This is showing the architecture. So the first one was environment. So you're going to do the exact same thing. It's the exact same company, Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality by AugThat. You're going to launch the app, start the lesson, click 360-degree environment, and this time you're going to click on architecture because it's inside a building. And this one is a greenhouse. So you get to go explore a greenhouse. And they have some other ones with buildings that take you inside different buildings or around different buildings, so that kids get a total view of what these environments are. Okay, that's the right way. Okay, same company again. I have to tell you, AugThat is totally for education and bringing learning to life. They have triggers that are three-dimensional. They have the 360 degrees. They have animated lessons. They even allow teachers to create their own. And they have a teacher library. So all of the stuff that I make will go up into the teacher library, and you guys would have access to that. And I can tell you about that in just a moment. But same company. This one is going to be a three-dimensional of the Earth. So you're going to go to Start Lesson, or launch the app, start the lesson. This time you're going to click 3D, and then you're going to match. It's going to tell you space or science or animals. They have over 700 three-dimensional objects, including landmarks, math, three-dimensional objects like for volume. How great is that? That you could, send a picture home, kid can scan it and learn about volume and shapes and all on a piece of paper, and it comes to life. So you're going to scan, this one will be space and science. You're going to scan the image, and they do have all the planets, including Pluto. So you scan it and it'll pop out. They're coming out with a 360-degree of the solar system. So you could do a 360 of the solar system, and then you could give these triggers to the kids, and the kids can go in deeper and look at the different planets. Okay, same company, Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality. They asked me to help them come up with some content. They had language arts and they had math, and they have animated lessons for that. They have their 700 plus three-dimensional objects and their 200 plus 360-degree environments. They asked me to come up with some other content related to current events and social studies. So if you go to my blog, Diary of a Techie Chick, and you look for current events, you're going to get these triggers. These triggers are free. They also include worksheets that go along with these triggers. These triggers are very unique because the triggers will never change, but about every 2 weeks, the content will. And you'll have content that is pretty current for national and for the world. And it's going to be like animated news reports, and then the worksheets have some higher thinking skills on them, and the kids using the worksheets will answer the questions, and they can use the triggers to help them with that. So you're going to launch the app, start the lesson, and this time you're going to click current events. And this should be, like I said, the content will change, so you can reuse those worksheets over and over and over again. You can start a social studies current events interactive binder when a new one comes out, and you just, have the sheets already there, tell the kids to go scan it, and then you can talk about, and there's questions. I try to do the worksheets for younger kids, older kids, and then higher thinking skills, and I have like the Bloom taxonomy thinking questions aligned to that. It's aligned to Common Core. I also have tech integration suggestions. So if you go to my, and it's also on my website and my blog, it's both places, you can download these and start using them. And there's a link to the, I think it was my blog that has all the pages. Okay, this is something brand new. They just released it Wednesday night. Again, Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality. They are creating unique 360-degree environments. So you'll launch the, because this is new, it's in the demo, you're going to launch the app, you're going to start the lesson, you're going to click demo, you're going to scan this image, brand new. When you scan this image, you're going to be immersed with dinosaurs all around you, and it plays some music. It's really cool. The kids are going to love it. There's like this huge dinosaur with big shark teeth above you. It's just amazing. This is how they're also creating their solar system one. So when you get the solar system trigger, you scan it and you'll be in the middle of the solar system, in the middle of the Coliseum. There's going to be tons and tons of these triggers coming out in the near future. This just happens to be their first one, and I asked if I could share it, and they said go for it. So you guys are one of the first ones to see it. I did show it on our Let's Talk AR Hangout last night, and it literally blows your mind what you can do with augmented reality. Okay. Same company. I really like this company, apparently. Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality. They asked me to create content for them. They didn't have anything for kindergarten. So I am creating interactive flashcards for kindergarten. So you're going to launch your app, you're going to start the lesson. This time you're going to click Animated Lesson. When you get this trigger, you're going to cut it apart on the dotted line, so it becomes 2 parts. If you scan the part with the word, you're going to get a little girl voice saying, can you spell, and then the world, and she'll say, I can, and she spells it for you. And then you're going to, if you scan the other part, you're going to get an animated lesson how to spell the word. My goal is to create a whole bunch of these flashcards so kids can start building sentences. And I have basic words right now, like cat, dog, house, boy, girl, number words, color words. Not everything is live and active for them because I'm still in development, but it is coming out very, very soon. So you'll need to contact that to get access to these interactive, and you can use them for pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, and there'll be also interactive worksheets that will go along with these. So you can literally, bring learning to life and make it so engaging for kids. This would be a great center, especially If you have a student that needs the audio reinforcement of how to spell a word, they can see it, but now they need audio, and you're busy, you can give them the flashcards and just have them sit down and practice. There's lots of uses for this, and I think this is going to go really big. And I do have a question. Somebody is posting a question about the if I can print it in color or black and white. You can print all these triggers in black and white. They do not have to be in color. You can also print them on colored paper, and they will still work. Okay, let's see. Any tips of how to get the card to work? Some devices aren't recognizing it. I'm not for sure which card you got. The card on that I gave you guys, it works both on Android and on the Apple. You got to make sure and it shouldn't be glary because they all should be matte. If there's a glare or if not enough light, sometimes it has some issues. But you'll have to give me, Chris, if you're watching, you're going to have to give me a little bit more information because I'm not for sure what you're talking about. Okay. So that's kindergarten. Go back to my slides. Okay. Same company, the Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality. They are coming up with tons of stuff, and I'm kind of helping them. Like the current events, there will be what's happening in science, and the science will have two special triggers. One will give you like maybe a news report of something happening in science, and the other trigger is going to either give you a 3D object that goes with the news report, or it's going to give you a 360-degree environment that goes with that science report, so that kids can kind of, you know, explore a little bit more in depth. And I also have the pages like for current events are graphic organizers with those higher order thinking skills, and it'll also be aligned to Common Core so that you can start an interactive science notebook. The triggers will never change. The content behind them will. So it'll be fresh content. It'll be constantly changing, probably about every 2 weeks or so. Chris says we're turning lights on. Yeah, you need to have lights. It does work with lights. Okay, another thing that is coming out is they are creating a virtual museum. So you can go on virtual field trips. And then one of their first museum creations are going to be dinosaurs. And you'll be able to see a three-dimensional of the dinosaur and then see how the dinosaur, you know, interacts and moves. And they'll have posters that you can hang around your room. And then you'll be like going to a museum, and the kids can scan the poster, and it'll have the triggers on it, and they can get those experiences. They also have for space. And then what's coming is an art gallery. So they're going to have a museum for dinos, the dinosaurs, a museum for space with the space crafts, the rockets, and all that great fun space stuff, and then also an art gallery. So those things are coming and will be released very, very soon. This company is just going to continue to grow and keeping education in mind and lining, you know, stuff for with the Common Core, giving you lessons. It's just going to grow, and it's going to be amazing. Okay, talking about space, NASA has a new app. It's NASA 3D View, and there are 2 triggers. And you could go, and if you do, and I have all this on my website. If you go and click on AR resources, I have like a symbol board, and it has all the apps, literally everything, all the anything that has a target, you can click on printable targets, and you'll get a file of a Dropbox of all the printable targets. But they have 2 new triggers, and once you launch the app, you're going to click, there's a choice that says augmented reality, and then you're going to have other choices. So you're going to pick which one you want, and then you're going to scan the trigger. One of them is a 360-degree view of being on a launch pad. Another one is a rocket, and you click on the rocket and it expands so you can see the different layers of the rocket and see inside. It's really cool. So NASA now has actually, I do believe, 3 apps that have some part of augmented reality in them. The first one was their 3D spaceships, and then this one, and then they have another one, and I have all those apps on my Symbaloo board. Okay, and of course daiquiri, and if I was there in person, I would have the actual wood blocks for you guys, but daiquiri has these element blocks, and you can download, and there's my resource for augmented reality. It's on my website as well. You can click on that and you can print the blocks. You can cut the blocks apart and make them into flashcards. You can and put decoupage them on other blocks if you want. If you laminate, I was told if you laminate anything, the glare can be an issue, but if you use sandpaper on the lamination, it may help take away some of the glare. I haven't tried that yet, so you'll have to tell me if that works. Being a teacher, you know, we got to save our stuff because you never know when paper's going to run out or you can't print anymore. So I also laminate. But these blocks are interactive. When you put them together, when you scan them, you're going to get the element. There's 6 elements per block. And then they have some that if you put them together, like hydrogen and oxygen, you're going to get water. So you'll see the elements on that. And if you tap on the screen, it's going to give you more information about those elements. They're really fun to play with, and it's great for a science classroom. Okay. Well, if we were doing this where I could hear you, I would ask you how you'd make your pre-made trigger, or how you would use pre-made triggers in your classroom. If you want to post in the Q&A part, we can get some suggestions that way. I told you kind of how I do it. I use a lot of the coloring pages. For writing, I use a lot of the 360s. I use a lot of the 3Ds. I even make my own. But there's stuff that's already made. And when I say pre-made, you can use stuff I've made because it's pre-made to you. So if you have a teacher that's really handy and can create augmented reality triggers for you, such as, you know, me, you can. I take requests all the time. That's how I got the kindergarten stuff going. That's how I got the current event stuff going, the science. I'm also been asked to create a person of the month, like a famous person or inventor of the month, and try to align them to the career and readiness part of the Common Core. So yeah, if you know somebody that create them in a snap and you need access to them, ask somebody to make them. Or you can go to places that are already made, use the coloring pages, use the NASA, use the daiquiri, use whatever tool that's going to be best to fit your situation. Okay, and like I said, I love to create augmented reality, and I'm probably running out of time, but I will go really quickly through this part. You can use daiquiri 4D Studio, you can use Layer, Blipbar, AugThat, and Erasmus. I do not use Erasmus. It's flaky. It has issues. You got to jump through hoops to follow channels. It just doesn't work for me. I want you to use the app that's going, or the platform that works best for you, that best fits your needs. For me, that is AugThat. One, because when I create it, then I can add it to their library, and other teachers can start using the stuff that I've made. But here is an example of an interactive image, and you could do any image. You could turn any image interactive. If you go to, you download the STAR app, the Supreme Tutoring Augmented Reality app, and then you launch the app. You're going to start lesson, and then AugThat has, they just came out with ambassadors, and I'm one of their ambassadors, so you're going to click on AugThat's ambassadors. You're going to click on my name, and then you're going to scan this trigger, and this will be an interactive image. It will just take you to my YouTube channel playlist for Let's Talk AR. It's going to, you know, my website, my blog, and all that. What is really cool about this is once you scan and load the image on your device, you can walk away and don't have to scan it again. The image will stay on your device until you close it. So this is really cool, and this is really great to do a lot of interactive stuff with students. If you have an image and you want them to go to multiple places, this would be the way to do it. Okay. Some ideas. You could do interactive book covers, interactive dioramas. You can also do interactive history projects like on the student reports, interviews with historical characters, math concepts, and I shared kind of one yesterday on Periscope was interactive math notebooks. How great to have those foldables and just put a trigger right next to it so kids can get either reinforcement or enhancement of that math concept. And it's truly interactive because the kids have to interact with the trigger and the iPad. It just becomes an amazing teaching tool. You can have interactive science fairs, interactive STEM fairs. You can use augmented reality to help with problem-solving strategies. There are so many possibilities. It's just endless that you can do with augmented reality. Okay, and if we were doing this face-to-face, or if I could hear you, I would be asking you what kind of AR projects could you and your students make. If you want to type those in the Q&A, I can read those off when they come through. Okay, so every second and fourth Thursday of the month, at 8 p.m. Central, we have a brand new Twitter chat called AR for Learning. Please join us. Our next one will be the second Thursday in August, which will be August 12th, I do believe. And every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, we have a Google Hangout called Let's Talk AR. You're welcome to join us and talk about augmented reality and get help, get some suggestions. We are here to connect, learn, and share with each other. Okay, Jackie asked, how do we get AugThat cards? I sent some to Maggie. And those are their sample ones. You can go to their demo page, which is augthat.com, and they have a button for demo page, and they'll have some cards that you can download and demo. You'll have to contact them directly to get any additional cards because some of their things are free and some of their things you have to pay for. And if you tell them that Katie Ann sent you, they will give you an account to the teacher library. They have two parts. They have their teacher library where teachers are uploading stuff, and then they have their library. So they have two different types of accounts. If you tell them I sent you, Katie Ann Wilson, say, hey, I needed a teacher account. They will give you a teacher account, and you'll have access to stuff I've made and what other teachers have uploaded to the teacher library. They will be changing, I do believe in September, the teacher library to both a teacher and student library, so students can start uploading their stuff as well. But you'll have to go to augthat.com, contact them. They have a contact page. Tell them that you're interested in their cards or animated lessons, or they can walk you through what they have. They have so much. Their library is huge, but they can walk you through and get you what you need for your classroom. Let's see, Sean says you can create interactive game boards. Yes, and I would love to do that. And Sean, you know how to get a hold of me, so I would love to help you with that or be your sounding board. But interactive game boards would be awesome. Let's see. Any others? Any tips on the cards aren't working? We already did that. You can create profiles for each student that parents can scan for back to school night. And this was part of our talk last night for back to school night, and that would be awesome. Have a card or a picture that parents can go through and maybe scan and get a bio of the teacher and a 360 of their room or of the school, and have a 360 of the school, especially for if the kid is new or the parents are new to the building, demonstrating the different areas of what they look like throughout the school. That would be great for back to school night. Great suggestion, Sean. Okay. I'm sure we're almost out of time. I do have a Google group, Augmented Reality for Education. Feel free to join, connect, and share there. And that's how you're going to hear about when our Hangouts are and our Twitter chats. I also archive all of that, and they're in the group, and you can watch. And we also have resources in there as well. And you can ask questions, and other people will gladly help you. Not just me, but I have a team of teachers that are amazing, and they like to help. So feel free to join the group. I also have a Padlet board for projects, AR projects, so feel free, if you want to steal ideas, go to the board and steal some. If you want to post some ideas, feel free to post. It is open to post. The more projects that we get on this board, the more that we can inspire others to create augmented reality or use augmented reality in education. So this was me. Well, not really me. That picture's not me, but I am Katie Ann Wilson, and these are my resources, and feel free to connect with me, follow me, Twitter, tweet at me, whatever you need to do. I am here to help you, and I love to connect and share with others. Maggie, do we have any questions? I'll clear off some of these. Are we out of time? I do believe we're probably out of time. Okay, well, I will stay on for just a little bit longer, so if there's any questions, thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but it's technology. you just gotta roll with it. Feel free to ask me questions anytime. I'm here for you, and I love to help. And if you need help with a project, please feel free to ask for help. Do you have students create, or do you do most of the creating? Great session. Enjoyed following along on Periscope as well. I do have my students create, and I also create. So one of the projects that I have my students create that's augmented is, I call it Get Your Geek On, or What You Geek. So they create a sign of what their geek is, and then they take a picture holding their sign, and then they have a video or a presentation or something that explains their geek, what they're passionate about, and they augment that part. So when you scan the sign, you get their presentation, you get them explaining their passion. That is one of the projects that I do. I also do one with 6th grade for ancient Greece. The kids design a name tag in Greek, and then when they scan the name tag, you get their ancient Greek, and I do green screen, you get their ancient Greek news report. That's green screen, their project that they had to do for that. So I do have kids create augmented reality as well. I love to create it myself, so I try to include it as much as possible, and I love to share with others how it is. Maggie is saying we are out, so this has been a great session. This is recorded, so I will tweet out the link so others can watch it. Thank you for joining me.